everybody, Sick this here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today I picked up a few titles from Walmart, so let's take a look at what I got. The first title I picked up was The Long Kiss Goodnight. This is a title I've been thinking about getting for a while now. I come across this on DVD and VHS here and there, and I always look at it and think, you know, Samuel L. Jackson, Gina Davis, sounds pretty good. Sounds like maybe a decent action film. I do usually enjoy the movies they're in, and for whatever reason, I still just keep passing it up. Like I said, come across it many times, but I just never grab it. So today I figured it's about time I finally pick up this movie, check it out, see what it's about. Hopefully I'll enjoy it, so definitely looking forward to checking this one out. The next title I picked up was Vampires, a John Carpenter movie that I've yet to see. This is another title that I've been thinking about getting for a while now. I don't come across this one too often, only here and there every now and then, but I have passed up on it those few times I have come across it. So today, I figured I'd pick it up, check this one out. I do love vampire movies, I do love John Carpenter movies, so this should be a great watch. Then I picked up the Dragonheart franchise collection. This comes with Dragonheart and Dragonheart A New Beginning. Just recently I watched Dragonheart in HD DVD, and I thought it was a pretty good movie. It wasn't great, it wasn't fantastic, it had its issues, but all in all, a decent movie. I hear the sequel is not very good at all, but I am a completist, so definitely had to get the sequel. Definitely wanted to get both of these on DVD, so for $5, had to grab this one. And the last title I picked up was a 4-movie marathon. This one coming with Pure Luck, King Ralph, Ghost Dad, and For Richer or Poorer. Now I already have King Ralph, I already have For Richer or Poorer. However, my King Ralph was full screen, this year's widescreen. I've never seen Ghost Dad. I hear it's pretty decent, so I look forward to checking that out. But the main reason why I grabbed this one was definitely for Pure Luck. Up until now, Pure Luck has never released a DVD. This is the only DVD release that it has gotten, and I have it on VHS. So I definitely want to replace my VHS copy. So I am definitely glad to have had this. I love the movie. It's not fantastic. It is somewhat mediocre, but it is a decent movie that I would recommend checking out if you're into kind of buddy cop comedies. It is decent and definitely worth seeing. So for that, had to pick this one up. It was only $5. That is a great deal for this. I highly recommend picking up this pack. So that's what I bought today. So now it's what I watched. And today, of course, I checked out Return of the Jedi. Once again, from my Star Wars Trilogy Laserdisc set. And of course, love the movie like I always do. I did go into this movie also just like I went into the other two, where I try to look at it as its own individual movie, because I don't normally do that with the Star Wars movies. Like I said, when I watch Star Wars movies, I kind of, at least the first 3 Star Wars movies, I kind of look at it as one big movie. I don't really look at it, I don't really look at them individually. I see the trilogy as a big movie, and I've always just kind of looked at it that way. So this time watching the entire trilogy, watching all 3 movies, I really wanted to look at them all individually. So of course, went in this movie looking at it the same way. But for whatever reason, this one didn't feel too much different for me. You know, the first 2 movies, they felt a little different watching them the way I watched them, watching them as their own movie and trying not to think of the other 2. They did kind of have a little bit of a different feel for me. But for some reason, this one, it sort of felt normal. It sort of felt the same. You know, even though I didn't look at it, even though I wasn't thinking of the other 2 movies while watching it, it just sort of came off the same for me. But for whatever reason, I don't know, it was still a great movie. I would definitely say this is my second favorite of the series. I definitely like Empire Strikes Back the best. That movie is just brilliant. Then Return of the Jedi, and then my least favorite is Star Wars. Even though, again, I do like Star Wars. Star Wars is a fantastic movie. I'm not trying to bash it at all. I did get some flack for that when I said that it was my least favorite out of the original trilogy, and I said, you know, it had its issues. It was a little weak. I did get some flack for that, which I knew I would. I knew some certain Star Wars fans out there were gonna give me crap for that, which, you know, I was expecting. It's okay, whatever. But I do feel that Star Wars is the weakest out of the original trilogy, and that's just the order I put them in. Just you know, that's just how it goes for me. But I definitely feel that it was a great follow-up to The Empire Strikes Back. I thought, you know, Return of the Jedi was great. Again, has its issues. I've always kind of been bothered, well, I've always kind of had like a love-hate relationship with the ending of the movie. I like how, you know, I like how the dark side is defeated, and, you know, they kind of show that it's weak, and that, you know, Darth Vader sort of, you know, he puts the, you know, he overcomes kind of the dark side, and you know, just kind of overcomes it, and it just, again, it just shows that, you know, the dark side is weak, and you know, it was kind of cool to see Darth Vader, you know, embrace his, you know, true Jedi form, and, you know, and kind of defeat the dark side within himself. You know, that is kind of cool, but I always was kind of bothered by the way it happened, because Star Wars to me was always badass. I always saw Star Wars as completely badass, especially Darth Vader. I mean, even though he's the bad guy, I still thought he was a pretty badass bad guy. And when he just kind of goes, oh, I'm going to give up my badass self, I'm going to give up my dark side because I love my son, that always just sort of bugged me. You know, it's just kind of like, well, that's the reason why, you know, it just, I don't know, it just sort of seems, it just kind of seemed out of place, you know. I mean, everything's so badass and so great, and then, oh, I love my son, you know, just, I don't know, it always sort of bugged me a little bit. But at the same time, like I said, I do like how the dark side was defeated. You know, of course, that's how you want the movie to end. Whether it should have ended like that, I don't really know, but hey, it is what it is. And I always sort of had a love-hate relationship with the ending of the movie. Of course, we have our Ewoks, which are kind of the Jar Jar Binks of the original trilogy. You know, they're comic relief. They're pretty goofy. They can be really annoying at times. I don't necessarily hate them, but you know, I don't really love them either. They're okay. So, you know, you had that issue. You know, those guys popping up all over the place, kind of driving you nuts during the whole movie. What else is there about the movie that bugs me? I don't really know if there's too much more I'd say that really bugs me. All in all, it was a decent movie. Definitely a solid film that I would highly recommend. Of course, I recommend the entire trilogy. I'd recommend all 6 movies, actually. In fact, 7 if you want to include the Clone Wars. I would definitely recommend them all. They're all fantastic movies. But definitely Return of the Jedi. Great, fantastic movie that is great. I mean, I love how Luke now is, you know, full Jedi, and just, you know, he's got so much confidence, and he's so badass. Oh, okay. There are some other things that bother me. A lot of people just, you know, the way people die in this movie. I mean, how easily, you know, pretty much all the bad guys in this movie, they're so easily defeated in this film. You know, just, you know, you got one guy falling into the Sarlacc pit, and you got, you know, another guy being picked up and thrown into a reactor, and somebody being choked to death. You know, it just all the bad guys in this movie just seem to die way too easy. It wasn't epic enough or drawn out enough. And, you know, and that's another thing. Even with Darth Vader, because you could say he was, you know, you could call it being defeated. You know, him giving up the dark side. And, you know, if that's, you know, he wasn't, well, I mean, he was killed, but you know, not in the sense of defeated. He was kind of defeated by giving up the dark side. That seemed a little too easy also. So, you know, I mean, I know he was kind of conflicted, you know, throughout the movies. Okay, fine, but it did still seem a little bit too easy. So regardless of any issues that, you know, I might have had with the movies, you know, or with the movie, it still was fantastic. I certainly really wouldn't put Return of the Jedi down at all. I mean, yeah, of course, I do have some issues with it. There are some goofy things. There are some things that, you know, I just wasn't thrilled with. I mean, at the end when, I don't know, when, you know, Yoda and Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in full Jedi gear show up at the end and kind of waving off to Luke, you know, things like that seemed a little cheesy and whatnot. But all in all, it does work and is a fantastic, you know, again, a fantastic follow-up to Empire Strikes Back, and it's definitely a great, solid movie that I would definitely recommend. I was also thinking while watching this, would it be cool if they made like 3 more movies, if they extended the movies out and did like another trilogy? Because, you know, it's George Lucas. Why wouldn't he do something like that? I could see that happening. You know, I'm sure there's already books or comics or something out there already that do that. But, you know, wouldn't that be cool if they made that movie form? And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know, maybe if like, you know, they got some of the original actors to come back, you know, or all the original actors to come back and play their parts, you know, but they're all older now, and, you know, Luke is teaching Jedis now, or something like that. I thought that'd be really cool. I don't know what they would do, but I don't know. I could kind of get behind that. I'd kind of like to see that, especially if they got, you know, most. You know, I guess I can't even say most. They'd have to get pretty much all the original cast back, or it probably wouldn't work. So if they could do that, I was actually kind of thinking it'd be pretty neat if they kept it going, because I thought, even though it was a good ending to the series, you know, it could have been better. Sure, I don't know what, but something a bit more epic. Like, for instance, I thought the ending of the prequel series, you know, where it's you know, Darth Vader at the end there, you know, that's badass. That ends on a wow kind of moment, where this kind of just ends on a okay, that's cool sort of moment. You know, you're not the movie, you know, you just got done watching all 3 movies and you're not going like, wow, that was great, you know, because of the ending. You're kind of just like, that was a good story. At least that's how I felt. I wasn't like blown away by the way this movie ended, by the way they kind of ended off the original trilogy. I wasn't blown away. I just thought it was decent though. So I thought maybe they could continue the story on. Wouldn't that be cool? And I don't know. Again, they'd probably have to bring back the entire cast to make that even worth you know, even worth doing. Otherwise, it'd probably be a complete waste. So, all right, I'm going to stop rambling on here before you guys think I'm crazy, because I know a lot of you probably hate the idea of them making more movies, because a lot of you probably didn't like the prequels. I enjoyed them. As far as me watching the prequels, yeah, I might sit down and watch those now. I was debating whether I wanted to do that or move on to some of those hard titles I picked up, but I might sit down and watch the prequel trilogy now, because it's been a while since I've seen them, so I might do that. I do enjoy it. I actually like the prequel trilogy. I know a lot of you don't, but I actually enjoy it. So, okay, definitely going to stop rambling on here. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. Definitely looking forward to watching the titles I picked up from Walmart, especially Vampires and Long Kiss Goodnight. You know, I'm very happy to get those. I wanted to see this for a while now. And very happy to have Pure Luck finally on DVD. That's great. I'm glad they finally released that to DVD. It was released on DVD-R, but I hate DVD-R. So I'm glad they actually gave it a real DVD release. I think that's great. And of course, watching Return of the Jedi, fantastic. The entire original Star Wars trilogy is great. You know, I might have said Star Wars was a little weak, but you know, just because I said the first movie was a little weak doesn't mean I thought anything bad about it. I still think it's a great movie. All 3 movies are fantastic, and I would highly recommend them. If for any of you out there, you know, who are living on a rock, haven't seen them, they're definitely worth checking out. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.